Hello, I'm the producer, Jacob Cook, and UpTalk is a weekly, upbeat, uplifting, forward-looking resource show, offering expert perception and advice on personal growth and development. UpTalk will feature guests with inspiring stories and messages filled with informative, life-changing insights. The delivery of this information is through a blend of common sense and practical application. UpTalk will be a big assist in satisfying the hunger for knowing the path to success. And now to our hosts, Lou Vickery and Jason Will.
Oh, welcome to UpTalk. I'm Lou Vickery. What's your name, son? You got a name?
It has been that long, hasn't it?
It has been that long. You know what? We've been away for a while.
We have.
Yeah,
There's been
well, Jason Will,
an
how
epidemic
are you? It just came to me. Jason
Yeah, thank
Will.
you for remembering.
Yeah, well, hey, this is our pilot show to start off our second season.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, our guest today is a real pilot.
Are we sure that we've been picked up for a second season? Or
I
was
don't
that
recall. It's been so long. Well, how you been?
Good. How about you? I put on the COVID-15
You got your COVID-15
padding.
on?
You know what I'm saying? Like the COVID-15, like
Yeah.
the freshman 15.
Oh, yeah?
I put on the COVID-15.
Oh, COVID-15.
Yeah. But
Not
you look
fresh.
like you've maybe shed some pounds.
Man, I have.
Yeah.
Been doing it right.
What's your secret?
I don't know. I've just been, you know what,
What
really?
is, yeah. what is-
Really, I have been eating right.
Your wife is a nutritionist.
That's right. And I've been eating right.
Okay.
You
All
okay?
right. Well, I think you have to be pretty healthy to be a pilot.
Well, I think so, but we're going to find out.
We're gonna find out.
Well, Tripp Howard's our special guest for this show, and Tripp will be with us in a few minutes. But
right.
we wanted, hey, we're going to wait and let him tell us about who he is, where he's been. You know, I
Top
know
secret missions,
Yeah.
security clearances.
Got it all, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it is exciting to be back.
Is there UFOs? I mean, there's some serious stuff I want to get to on this show.
Yeah, the UFOs.
Is there an
you know
Area
what? There's
51?
probably a lot
I mean-
of folks said you and I probably are UFOs. or what's the other term? Missing in action. MIAs. That's probably it. Well, at any rate, Well, anyway, I'm excited to be back.
Me too.
Excited to see you. Family well?
Everybody is well. Everybody's healthy.
That's good.
So
I've been back traveling some.
you have?
Yep.
You should be wearing a mask, though. I really feel like you should be. Your whole face
Look,
should be covered, really.
I'm a pitcher, not a catcher. Catchers wear a mask.
Okay, I didn't know
No.
where we were going with that one, but that's good. That was good. It was
You like
good
that
cleanup. Good cleanup.
You know what I did? I put one mask on to go. I had to go to the hospital to do an exam, so I had to put a mask on. I thought I was suffocating, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. I had a difficult time with it. In fact, I passed out in the hallway, and they thought something was really wrong then. And that's the truth.
Really?
Yeah, man. But anyway, I made it through that one.
All right. Yeah. Enough about you.
Nothing. But yeah,
Let's
tell
move
us-
on. Is it time for a commercial?
Is
Oh.
it time for a commercial? Yeah, it is time for a commercial. We're going to take a quick break. Tripp Howard's going to join us on the other side. You hang right there. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to UpTalk. I'm Lou Vickery, your host, and Jason stepped aside because we have a special guest in the hot seat. Well, Tripp Howard, how are you?
Good, Lou. How you doing?
I tell you what, Tripp, if I got any better, I'd be twins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Hey,
That's great.
Hey, it's great to have you here.
It's a rough year so far, but I'm glad you're doing great.
Yeah, well,
The rest of us are really suffering.
has been. Oh, something been going on this year? I wouldn't know it.
hope
My
not.
lifestyle hasn't changed hardly at all.
It'll probably be a disaster if it is.
Well, I guarantee you, I've been playing. I want you to know, Tripp's one of my tennis buddies, and he's a good player. His wife may be better, but he's still a good player.
And Lou's got a crazy, wicked serve.
Yeah, I get a few complaints. I played down in Florida before I came back, and boy, guys look at me like, well, why don't you get a skirt on? I guess because I don't hit it very hard.
It's got a lot of spin.
Yeah, it does. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here, Lou.
Yeah, you're a pilot. You fly.
Yes.
And how many years have you been flying?
For over 30.
30.
Yeah.
Well, you started as a mere child then, didn't you?
I started at the Air Force Academy.
Did you really?
Back in like 85.
Tell us about that experience.
Well, I started out flying let's see, motor gliders, and then gliders, and then single engine Cessnas. They just kind of want to, start getting the airmanship into you and figuring out if you're going to be one of the many that they send to pilot training. And then when you've gone through the screening process, then your first assignment out of the academy is pilot training. And if you tell them you don't want to go, then they send you to the psychiatrist.
They send you to the psychiatrist.
Yeah, or if you tell them you want to be a helicopter pilot, you also go to the psychiatrist.
Either way, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting enough. But in the Air Force, well, let's step it another step back. Where'd you grow up?
At Fairhope, Alabama.
You're Fairhope.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. And you went to Fairhope High School?
I went to Bayside Academy and played soccer and tennis.
Yeah. You played sports there, I presume?
I did. Basketball, tennis, soccer. We were soccer state champs.
That's that. All right, very good. And then from the Air Force, after you graduated at the Air Force Academy, you have pull your duty, right? And and you did pilot training where?
Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Very good.
So I learned in the first year how to fly in weather, because there's a lot of weather down here in the Southeast. Thunderstorms and rain and all that scary stuff.
It really is. Isn't it?
It's the base you go to if you want to learn how to fly in the weather.
How about that? Yeah. And then after that, where did you head off to?
My first base was at Pope Air Force Base, or Fort Bragg, with the 82nd Airborne. And I was there for, I want to say, 4 Christmases, and I spent 3 of them in a combat zone.
Did you really?
I did.
In a combat zone. Well, let's talk about the combat zones that you've spent time in.
Okay. Let's see. My first one was in Panama for the invasion in '89.
Yeah.
I spent pre-Christmas and after New Year's there. My second Christmas there was in Desert Storm. We had a lot of folks go over for that one.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And then my third one, or my fourth one, I think they gave me a year off. After you do 2, you get 1 year off.
Okay.
And then my fourth one was in Bosnia. We were doing the airlift into Sarajevo during the Civil War there. I was there for 92 and 93.
And then later on, you've done Afghanistan or any other places in the Middle East?
Iraq. I did a tour in Iraq. I did 2, because I did Desert Storm, and then I did the one after, the second one.
Okay.
And then I spent 5 years doing flying jobs in Afghanistan, and I did a lot of work in North Africa and Central and South America and Eastern Europe and in the Pacific, a lot of stuff over there. So basically everywhere.
So you've had an opportunity to see the world.
I have. Some places are better than others.
I bet. That's it. Yeah. And as you look at the overall picture of serving like that, and how much lead time do they give you? Sometimes just a day or so?
Sometimes you know it's coming for a month or 2 out. If it's something that's been going on for a while, they try to schedule it out and spread the wealth there. And sometimes you get a call and it's get your bags in here right now.
Yeah. Man, I bet. Hey, you got to be ready to go.
The Desert Storm was like that. It was like
I was going to ask. It
was a day or two of CNN. That was the only news show we had back then. And the next thing I knew, we were gone.
Yeah, I had some friends that served in Desert Storm, and that was rather quick, wasn't it? Huh?
Yes.
And it didn't last long either.
I'm going to say about 8 or 9 months. So,
did it really?
Yeah, so that's a long time to live in a tent in the desert.
Well, I bet.
So I would beg to differ with you on that.
Well, I apologize for that, because I didn't have to live in a tent in the desert.
But then again, I was in Afghanistan for 5 years, so that was a way longer time.
What is it like to be in a country like that?
Well, they're all different, and we've all, there's different missions in all these different countries and different objectives. But,
you have your own base, though, right? You have a base set up for your squadron or something.
For the conventional things, you got probably some kind of air base. Maybe you have a base there, or maybe you make a tent city there, or it might just be you got a team of 12 or 20 guys, and you're living in a house that nobody knows about, or maybe you're living in a compound that belongs. To the embassy or something like that.
Right.
There's all kinds of team houses, there's bases, there's tent cities, all kinds of different things.
Tripp Howard's our special guest here on UpTalk, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to ask Tripp a little bit about what it takes to be successful in what he does, okay? You stay with us. All right, welcome back to UpTalk. I'm Lou Vickery, along with our special guest, Tripp Howard. Tripp, our prodigious producer, Mr. Jacob Cook, had a question for you.
I don't know what that word means, pernicious.
But neither do I. But it sounds. I learned that from Jason. Jason uses all those big words.
There's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, well, it really means I think he's good at what he does. Okay, so.
Gotcha.
But he'd like to know a little bit about what it was like. You've been 9 months in a tent, and what kind of, just sort of what to expect when you were there.
I'll tell you, we were so busy there that you didn't really have a lot of I'm down, I've got nothing to do time. We were flying so hard, we were busting all of the rules, FAA rules and the Air Force rules on how many hours you can fly in a week, a month, a year. I mean, we were just killing it. We were just flying our butts off. But a lot. It was tougher for a lot of other guys because they were married. I was a young single guy back then. That was my maybe second or third year in the Air Force, and so for me it was just another big adventure. But we got up every day. We had cold shower at 4 o'clock in the morning. Some really bad chow food, and then we went out and flew, and I came back, and then went jogging and read a book, and then started all over again. So it was either eating bad food, or you're flying, or you're out jogging or something, and then you're back into a.
You didn't have Netflix to watch movies and all that kind of stuff.
We had nothing.
And was most of the activity there of flying nature? It wasn't a lot of ground activity after they started. Am I correct with that?
Remember we had the air war and the ground war.
Yeah.
And so for the air war, we just pounded them,
Right.
And then when the ground war started, the unit I was with, we were working up for that. So I was flying C-130s, paratroopers and cargo and that sort of things. So we took a whole bunch of ground guys and special ops guys, and we were landing C-130s on 2-lane roads right up on the border.
2-lane roads.
For weeks prior to the ground war starting. So when it did start, we had a whole army there, and nobody knew about it. It was in the middle of the desert. The war started, bam, those guys went straight across and just tore those guys up. That's why it went so fast, because those guys went across and it was just like it was over in like a day and a half, 2 days.
My goodness.
There was nothing left,
As you look back now, and what was the main reason you got involved flying? I mean,
the main reason was Dad was an Air Force pilot.
Okay.
And he was a Air Force colonel and a test pilot, and he had flown F-105s or Thuds in Vietnam, and then he came back and flew F-106s down at Panama City at Tyndall Air Force Base.
Right.
And he had he was a test pilot out of Edwards, did a lot of cool test stuff. And so I was always seeing that stuff and admiring that stuff.
So you were around it all that time.
And so I wanted to do that too, so I did.
Do you have siblings?
I do. Mm-hmm. Kim is my sister, and she's a fantastic tennis player, and now she's a fantastic golf player, I understand. But we need to get Kim out there. She'll tear us up. She's good.
Yeah.
She was #1 in Alabama for like 6 years straight as a junior. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tripp Howard, our special guest with us on UpTalk. Tripp, what are some of the attributes, the things, if somebody's there kind of weighing whether they would like to try to move forward being a pilot, that type of thing, what are some of the things you'd lay out for them? What does it take to be successful?
If you want to be a pilot, I'd say, try it out. Go out to the local airport and find an instructor and talk to them, and they'll give you maybe the first flight or two free just to see if you like it. And if you do, then you just start working on a private pilot's license. And I didn't do any of that. I just went because I left high school, went straight into boot camp for the Army, and then went to an Army college for a year. And then cause I didn't get in the Air Force Academy in my first year. My grades weren't that good.
Yeah.
But they were pretty good. I thought I was one of the best guys. But then I finally did make it in the academy, and I was used to being like the best. And I got there and realized that I wasn't the best at all. I was actually one of the worst.
But you made it through, right?
I did, but not easily, and by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
I hear you. I heard you say something about you need when you leave here. You're working on a master's degree in cockpit design.
Yes, sir. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Now, what in the world is cockpit design?
Well, somebody's got to put these cockpits together so the pilots can fly them and had their best performance. I've seen some of these airplanes, like some of the Russian designs and some of the those kind of designs. They just put stuff wherever they go. Wherever they fit. Like last night, I'm reaching for something and my hand gets stuck in the fan. I'm like,
holy cow!
We would frown on that. In American cockpit designs. So So I'm getting a second master's degree right now. I'm halfway through it. And
Now, where do you get a master's degree in?
I'm doing it online with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is the best online university in the world. It's fantastic.
Oh, okay.
And they're really, being rough with me. They're really, I got to write a research paper every week, and that's why I got to get home and get that. But, I'm going to get it. At a certain point, flying these airplanes is just going to wear me out. So when it starts getting too hard to get on and off the plane, I'm going to hang it up and I'm going to design cockpits.
How about that? Well, there's another future, another job, a cockpit designer. As you look back on your career, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you're presently doing. We're going to take a break before we do that. But just looking back and what you've accomplished and what you've done, what just stood out to you? What was probably the main thing that you've enjoyed in your career in the Air Force?
Flying airplanes and being with a crew. I'm used to a crew airplane like a C-130. We drop paratroopers and drop cargo and stuff like that. But we got a crew. You got officers and enlisted guys, but you all come together and become good friends, and you do stuff together. And like I said, when you're in Desert Storm, living in a tent for 9 months with the same guys, you get to find out what you like and don't like about people.
And just hope they don't snore, right?
Yeah. But the main thing is, if you can find something that you absolutely love, then that's what you got to stick with. And I got lucky, and I did that quick.
That's good. I think you hit a nail on the head.
Yep.
You get to find something you really love doing, and then do it with all you might, right?
Yep.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Tripp a little bit about what he's currently doing. He's training pilots and how he got involved in that. So you stay with us. You're listening and watching. Thank you, Jacob.
Video.
UPTalk. That's right. UPTalk. We'll be back. Oh, we are so excited you're with us, and we're excited to have Tripp Howard in the house. Tripp, now you're retired from the Air Force, but yet you're still doing work for the Air Force. Tell us about that.
So after my first tour, flying C-130s, I went to Special Ops and flew Special Ops C-130s, so we do special stuff.
Yeah.
And I did that in Florida, and then I went for a tour over in Okinawa, Japan, and did that over there, and I came back to Florida again. And then I got into an unconventional unit where we do aviation advising. That means like teaching foreigners how to fly airplanes, teaching them air power. And when I retired after 20 years, I kind of kept doing that same stuff. I started flying PC-12s and teaching Air Force pilots how to fly those airplanes and do mission work on those. And I did that for a few years. That's like simulator training, airplane training. And then I ended up being a contractor, like an overseas deploying contractor. And I went to Iraq for a tour, and then I went on a different airplane to Afghanistan for a few years, doing some work over there. And then I was training Afghan Air Force over there. So I spent 5 years doing that stuff. Then I came back to Florida, and I trained the guys who trained the guys downrange. So the Americans.
You trained the trainers, so to speak.
Exactly, and that's our big business. Is you find the best guys, like when you're working with foreigners, and you make them your trainers. So you train the trainers.
Okay.
Kind of like a special forces kind of stuff, right? Except they're a lot tougher than we are. But I did that for a few years, and now I'm flying a Polish Russian designed airplane and teaching the guys how to do the same thing, how to go downrange and fly.
Are those Americans you're teaching, or are they foreign?
Well, and some other guys too that I can't talk about. Some foreigners, foreign air forces.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to do. I'm still kind of doing the same stuff that I did when actually I'm in the same squadron I retired out of like 13 years ago. I made a big giant 13-year loop, and I'm right back in the same spot, which is kind of cool.
Made a big circle. Huh?
I know all the old dirty secrets. Yeah.
Yeah. Look who's here, boys. I know all the ropes, right?
Yep.
Tripp Howard, our special guest with us here on UPTalk, and I tell you, Tripp, it's been a real pleasure having you. Tripp, in thinking about your career and what you've done, what would you share with our listeners what would you like to share with them and our viewers and folks that are on the other end of the stick? These guys' life, I must tell you, I've spent so many years in the radio business, I'm still listening. I can't say, I got a perfect face for radio. I want you to know that. But,
you do.
I've read it, but I haven't done Well, I thank you very much. But now, what would you like to leave with our listeners before we?
Well, the only thing I know is airplanes and flying airplanes, and I just tell guys who are interested in that to pursue it, because if you get it and you're good at it and you like it, you'll probably end up loving it, and it's the only thing you'll ever want to do, and you can do that because there's such a demand for pilots and air crews. Let's see, this would have been about 12 years ago. I was training 2 students.
Yeah.
And we were doing night vision goggle work, and we were in a traffic pattern that was saturated with airplanes. There was a gunship in there, AC-130 gunship, a big C-130 gunship.
Right.
I was in a Pilatus. There was another Pilatus. I think there was a CV-22 Osprey that was getting ready to take off. There was a Huey in there. Just a lot of airplanes, and so it was getting tighter and tighter. And I came in to land. I did a tactical landing behind this AC-130 gunship, and I got caught up in his wake turbulence, and it flipped us upside down, and we crashed like that. And
Upside down.
About like that.
Oh, yeah, right.
We were upside down, and I got it to about there, and we hit the ground, and I broke the windshield with my head.
Did it do this? Start tumbling?
No, it broke the wing off, broke the engine off. It spun us around. We left the runway, hit a ditch, went airborne again. I broke the window with my head, and finally, there's no way we should have.
So that's your problem, huh?
That's it. It was the windshield.
We found it. No.
We had helmets on, thank God. But I still can't believe we walked away from that one. But
and everybody walked away safely.
Oh, we ran away.
I bet you did. Yeah, I bet you did.
That was scary. That was one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't deter you any, huh?
No, I was
back in
the
it
next
again?
day I was ready to get back in and go.
That's amazing.
Like I said, it's the only thing I know how to do.
That is great. Now, tell us a little bit about your family. I really always like to hear a little bit about.
Well, I've got 3 girls, and one's getting her master's degree in education, and one of them is at Auburn, and she is in pre-med in her 4th year.
Okay.
And so she'll be going back for another 4 years. And I got one of them. This is going to sound strange now. I got one at Auburn. I got one starting at Alabama this fall. So I'm not sure what Thanksgiving's going to be like at my house. It's going to be crazy.
We really appreciate you stopping by and visiting with us. I had, been around you for a number of years, but you never hear everybody's story. Guys don't talk like the ladies do. Ladies take time. They talk about what goes on in their life, but I'm not sure us men do very well with that.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell you what, we do appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, Lou. It was fun.
Come back and be with us
Next
again.
time I'll do you.
Hey, why not? That's right. We're going to take a break. Jason's coming back, and we're going to critique our visit with Mr. Tripp Howard. So you stay with us, UPTalk, and you're watching and listening. Thank you. Well, it was great to have Tripp here with us. And
He confirmed that you're actually good at tennis. So I think we're going to have to accept the fact
He just said I had a good serve.
Okay.
Which,
Well, enough people have come in here saying that you're pretty decent that I think we can go ahead and buy it. It's true.
Well, we might as well just share it with you guys now. I've been accepted to join the Senior Grand Prix of tennis next year.
Wow.
And I'm really excited about that. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it, but the offer has been extended.
I will sponsor you if I can put my face on your uniform. So
why not?
Yeah.
Your face is on the front of our book. By the way, where's our book? There you go.
Yeah, I think
you kind of went
the cleaning lady probably threw it out. She's like, "What is this?"
Well, what'd you get? What'd you get out of our visit with Tripp?
Well, I think there's a lot of things you can take away from a guy like Tripp. I mean, there's so many accomplishments, so many tours of duty, but I just love the passion he has for what he does.
He really has it too.
And just, I don't know, how old of a guy is he?
You know what? I don't. If he was Air Force in '85, then he's probably late 50s.
Late 50s, and just, no signs of slowing down. No. Getting his second master's degree. It's just like he starts naming off all these accomplishments, and you kind of start zoning out because the list is so long. You're like, wow, that's incredible. But I just think in terms of what we're talking about here, I mean, this is, this show has entrepreneurial roots, and so, and it's for people that are making an impact and doing great things, with their lives. And so it goes back to what he was talking about, the passion, like really finding something that you love and sticking with that, and you'll be fine. So it really doesn't matter, I think, what other people think. I'm coming in contact, and I'm sure you have too, after training thousands of people over your career, is that people get so caught up with the conversation, like this apprehension, this, these obstacles, all this criticism. It really exists up here. It's not really even all that real. So, I would imagine that, even Tripp had some people telling him he should do this or he should do that. Or this is what he should do with his life. But he knew early on, and he stuck with it, and he's done great things with it.
Yeah, he absolutely has.
So that was awesome.
Tripp Howard was our special guest today, and we appreciate Tripp coming. And, as I look at his career, he really did pull a lot of tours of duty. You think about it.
That's, not that I'm a, military veteran or even, active duty aficionado, but that is quite an extensive career. Most people will do a tour here, a tour there,
Sure.
and that's pretty much it. But, he just you can tell he loves what he's doing, and retired once and went back, and now he's, after he, hangs up his wings, he's planning on designing cockpits and just staying involved with airplanes. And
Would you imagine that they would have a course in designing cockpits? I mean, where you could get a master's degree in?
No, but it's just fascinating that, I just think, especially you love to write books, and so you're constantly writing. And I just think it's key for people, and I know we've talked about this on the show before, about finding your passion, finding what you love. And once you find that, you never want to stop doing it. I mean, there's so many people that are working, they want to get the 40 hours
Right.
a week. They're working for the weekend. And then the long-term play is working for a retirement or some kind of a pension, and that's it. And I think if you find what you love and the things that you really like to do, it's not a job. It's not work. It's what you love to do. And
That's
I think
right.
that's a huge lesson that we learned from Tripp today.
And I'm not so sure enough people really find that joy.
I don't think they do, and I think they're playing for the wrong audience.
Right.
Is really what it boils down to. I mean, they're trying to please.
I love that. I love that analogy. Playing for the wrong audience. Huh?
Yeah. So, but more often than because the salespeople I deal with, it's all mental. It's like they're having this conversation. I talked with an agent the other day, and she said, she was going to, go inactive. She's been in real estate for a year, only sold one property, and she thinks it's just not for her. And the everything else around that, the nucleus of this conversation was, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, and it's just that those are powerful statements, whatever follows I.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in one of the books, and I think it's even our book, we talk about you got to get rid of the apostrophe T's in your life.
yeah,
So the can'ts,
true.
the don'ts, the won'ts, the shouldn'ts. I mean, as long as you're using those, you're putting the accent on the wrong side.
Well, and if you go back to the conversation you had with Tripp, it wasn't like he had a straight shot.
Right.
There were a couple zigs and a couple zags. I mean, he said, that he admitted that his grades weren't up to par, and he wasn't able to get into the Air Force Academy right away. So he had to spend a year plus, pursuing the military in a different direction before he got his grades up to where he could qualify for the academy. And we know that a lot of people, when they encounter one obstacle, they'll pivot and change direction.
All right.
Oh, Jacob's giving us the lasso signal. So
Well,
this is where
I tell you,
virtually lasso you and then kind of reel you in.
yeah, that's it. You're supposed to reel me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel reeled in. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back, and Jason's going to tell us a little bit about his what he's doing with his real estate.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How about that?
Here we go.
Stay with us. You're watching UpTalk with Lou Vickery and Jason Will.
All right, and we're back.
Hey, you do that good. All right, are we ready? And we're
think we're
back.
ready.
We are back. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about Jacob's, but we're done with that now. We're going to have to edit that out.
Talking about noodles, I got some in the car.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. You had a sock in your pocket, noodles in your car. I mean, it's just like this is a fun day. I was having a challenging day, and so this has really lifted my spirits.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about the real estate school and what you do, and how if somebody may be in the real estate business may want to become part of what you do.
Yeah, so we're offering real estate classes in class. Of course, you can do it online. That's the fastest way to do it, but not everybody learns, online, virtually. They prefer a more traditional setting. I know, like, I'm more auditory, and I learn faster in a group setting. So, it can take a couple months to get your license through the traditional means, but you're going to have a much higher, I think, likelihood of passing the test. There's the test has a pretty high fail rate, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
but we're offering the classes Mobile, Fairhope, and Silver Hill. What else do you want to know?
That's good. Well, and you teach all of them?
I do not teach them. So there's a real smart guy out of Birmingham, Alabama, that teaches them. So they're done through a screen. He teaches live, but it's done through a monitor, and it goes
okay.
to several locations across Alabama. So it's just like watching, like online church or something. So he's doing it live and on a big screen, and we do it that way. But you get the benefit of not only building relationships, because these are the future class, the up and coming agents of the industry, but there's a great live discussion that goes on with that. But next week we're doing a full week of classes for people after they pass their test, because what a lot of agents don't understand is in the coursework of the state examination, there is very little to maybe none talking about how you actually earn money in the business. So next week we're doing a full class to show people how to actually generate leads and turn that lead into a contact and the contact into a sale. So, but they can find out information all about this at jasonwilluniversity.com.
jasonwilluniversity.com.
Yep.
Very well.
Exciting stuff.
Well, it's been a good day.
It has been a good day. It was good seeing you.
Good to see
I'm
you.
glad
Hey, you
you're
believe me,
healthy.
my age is good to be seen.
I'm telling you.
Hey,
You're still sharp.
we got another show next week coming up.
All right, let's
Brad
get back
Vegas.
into the groove. Better or worse.
Brad Vegas is going to be visiting, so I'll tell you a little bit about Brad when we.
He's got an interesting name. All right.
Yeah.
Till we meet again. Bye, everybody. We sure would love a sponsor.
But I better hey
Besides Tinder, I mean,
You're right.
nothing gets Tinder. We appreciate Tinder.
keep a smile on your face, keep happiness in your heart, keep optimism on your tongue. Hey, that will hold well at jasonwilluniversity.com.
.com.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad we got that on camera. I'm glad we.
I mean, it was-
Jacob, I think it goes without saying we need to edit that part out. Whew. Well, listen. Oh, yeah. We're officially starting now.
all right.
So if you have
Officially
any other
started.
deep closeted items,
Well, I am to Jason Will
yeah,
of Jason Will.
I
Real
can work a
Estate.
director's chair.
You can, huh?
Just look. I mean, look at these.
Yeah, I understand you're a good director.
Yeah. Have you
you
ever thought
tell
about
us
getting your license?
My who?
Your license?
I got
think you might-
driver's license.
Okay. All right. Well, let's
That's
move on.
What's on the license I need. Do you think we ought to start retesting people that get chronologically gifted like me?
Absolutely.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah. Nothing against you, of course.
I know, but you
But-
do think it's worthy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would have some questions, like,
Well, let me
what's
tell
the
you
deal
what
with the
happened.
left
The reason
lane?
I asked
Like,
that
why
question-
the left lane fascination? What I've noticed about your people is that they don't seem to understand the schedule that some of us who like work
Oh, yeah.
seem to have. Like my mom's fast, like she can never grasp how busy I am. Like she just thinks I ought to have all this free time. Like where, like,
Oh, yeah.
and gets upset that I don't talk to her in like the middle of the day. It's like, hey, we're busy.
Remember the ad about the guy who was in the fight with, he was a CIA agent. He's in the fight with a couple of crooks, and his mom's calling him, and he's talking to his mom and doing all this karate stuff. Anyway,
No, I don't think.
Hi, I'm Dan Vega, and thank you for watching our channel. I want to take a second to tell you about a resource that's helping thousands of people across the country, Blue University. Blue University is the premier online business school for entrepreneurs and business leaders. If you find yourself in a day-to-day grind where you've lost your joy or you're just tired of struggling, then check out blue.university. That's BLU.university. I can promise that you receive nothing short of a multi-million-dollar education. And if you want a completely different life in 3 to 6 months and a way to create wealth in 5 years or less, then again, check it out. That's BLU.university. Find out why blue is the new color of success. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel or to give us a good rating, but that's only if you see value. And when you do receive value, make sure to share it with someone else. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.